So, a lot of people have been asking me what I'm going to run for this year's Nationals. I've tested a lot of different kinds of decks. I tested Jumpluff, Sableye, Luxchamp, a little bit of Gyarados, but I think I've found the best deck in the format. 4 J-Wittz cards! Draw 24 prizes!
You're Reggie Rocket with my nonsense and hopeless Poke projects. You won't stop till you're about to the top with all the hot bips. Hit with the metagame train, the reigning top kids at the top of his game, and you can't hit on top this. You want the best tricks? I suggest you profit. You want a mess split? I suggest you profit. Once we started rolling, you know you can't stop it. Let's go and get some lessons from J-Wittz and Profit. Yeah!
Hey fans, welcome to this week's episode of Profit. Today I'm going to talk about all the different types of decks that we're going to see at Nationals, their strengths, and their weaknesses. There's a ton of decks, so my reviews are going to have to be brief. And let's get to it.
Luxchamp, unsurprisingly, is still far in the number 1 spot. It might not be the most played deck because of the high value of Luxray Level X, but it will be filling up the top tables as the tournament moves on. It's still great because of its disruption abilities, quick damage, the SP engine, and type coverage. Luxchamp's big weaknesses are the ones I've covered: Donphan, Mewtwo X, and Machamp. It also struggles a bit against Azelf MT's Pokebody if your opponent is running that tech. If you can avoid those matchups or counter them while winning your even matchups across the day, Luxchamp is going to dominate. Jumpluff is also going to be popular because of its speed and power. The deck has a lot of disruption ability with Luxray Level X and Warp Points, and it'll be able to take quick knockouts. It sets up fast and recovers well, and it'll be all over the field along with Luxchamp. Jumpluff's biggest weaknesses are trainer locks like Spiritomb, power locks, and the Mr. Mime MT lock. Depending on how much play it sees, Jumpluff also has trouble against Entei-Raikou Legend, who clears your field of your many Pokemon on the bench with Pokepowers. Sableye has shot dramatically up in popularity since states and regionals, and it's now the number 3 Masters deck to look out for. Sableye has some nice advantages in being able to lock your opponent to a bad hand or top deck with Cyrus's Initiative, Judge, Giratina, or Chatot-G. Sableye can also get very quick knockouts on low HP Pokemon with its Overeager attack, and the deck has some options with SP Pokemon to win a 6-prize game if you don't get the lock early. Sableye's biggest weaknesses are like other SP decks, being Machamp, Mewtwo, and the AMU lock, leaving you to rely on hand disruption before your opponent gets set up. Curskar is always moderately popular, and he might have a really nice advantage over some other decks because of his extensive trainer lock. Curskar's biggest pluses are the trainer lock, Gengar X's level down ability, and the ability to run other types of disruption, like Dusknoir or Mr. Mime MT. Curskar's biggest problems are going to be its very slow starts against speed decks, getting easily donked by Sableye with ghastly starts, and the low damage that it deals. Jumping up in popularity after Unleashed released are Kingdra variants once again. Kingdra in many respects runs a lot like Jumpluff, but focuses on adding damage to the bench and getting knockouts on the lower HP setup Pokemon as well. Kingdra also has much more HP, making him last longer. Kingdra's big issues are the same as Jumpluff's: trouble with the Power Lock, Trainer Lock, and Mr. Mime. And he also has huge problem because of his Lightning weakness, which makes him extremely vulnerable to Luxray GL Level X. Now, I don't have time for everything, but I think you guys are seeing a trend here. All the decks that were winning before are still winning now, with just a small change in the order of popularity. Other popular decks are going to be Gyarados, Gardevoir Gallade, Donphan, Shuppet variants, and a few Machamp decks. One last thing I'd like to talk about is the presence of new decks that are performing pretty well. All 3 of them feature Pokemon from the new Unleashed set, and they focus on similar strategies, tanking with high HP. The first is Tyranitar, who has a whopping 160 HP, hits extremely heavy with Special Darks, and also has the option to spread damage on your opponent's Pokemon as well. Tyranitar has a great psychic resistance, but his fighting weakness grants him a near auto loss to Donphan. The next is Torterra, who uses its Giga Drain with an Expert Belt to hit for 60 damage and then heal 60. With 140 HP, the Level X option, and an attack that heals itself, Torterra is becoming a tough card to take down or get around. Its main weakness is going to be the few Fire-type decks that are played, or just being outsped, but it's still a really great contender. The last is Steelix Prime, who gets the natural help of Special Metal Energy to make it tank with its already huge 140 HP. It has energy acceleration with its first attack from the discard, so he pairs perfectly with Blissey from Platinum for healing. Like Torterra, he loses to fire and being outsped. And that just about encompasses our predictable metagame. Over the past 20 episodes or so, I've probably mentioned each popular deck that we're going to see at Nationals at least once, so check back at my past episodes if you're interested to see how this year Pokemon has progressed.
So, that's my recap on all the different types of decks that we're going to see at this year's Nationals. The main event is a week away, so if you still haven't picked a deck yet, go with the one that you're most comfortable with. As I always say, it's much better to know all the cards in your deck and how to play them, than to take a deck that you think is better, but not know how to play it at all. I should be around the main event and the side tables across Nationals. If you see me, ask for a free J-Wittz card. I'll be carrying a ton of them. Next week, there won't be any episode of Profit because it'll be at Nationals, but the week after that, there's going to be a ton of different types of coverage, interviews, my own report. It should be enough to fill up a whole month of Profit in 1 week. And if you're not going to Nationals this year, try practicing the new Majestic Dawn On format. After all these big tournaments are over, that's when we're going to start talking about, so you guys should get a head start in the game. As always, I hope you guys have a nice weekend. I'll see you at Nats. Peace.
Today's information-filled Profit episode was brought to you by Stop2Shop.com, and they've got a special offer for you. If you use the coupon code PROF-IT, all caps, you get 15% off your full order. Stop2Shop.com offers a wide selection of decks, packs, single cards, sleeves, and they offer $1.99 shipping for up to 100 single cards. Be sure to check them out for your Pokemon card needs, and thanks for sponsoring Profit.